Howdy folks. So I'm going to go over a little bit of what we've been up to. This engine used to have an auto transmission harness connected to it with a auto transmission ECU. So we took a manual transmission ECU and harness off of another one we had, and we put that engine harness on this engine and the computer. Now this harness here that's hanging off is actually the harness that came with the engine harness that's on this engine now, which originally was on this 3.4 liter. So we're in the process of, rewiring stock 3 liter, dash harness, everything in here, all your signals, your washer, fluid, your wiper motor, ignition, everything that's, stock 3.4 or 3.0 liter dash stuff. We're going to, rewire everything into the new 3.4 liter computer dash harness to the 3.0 liter right here. This stuff, this is all stock harness, and we're gonna wire it all in so this engine sees what it needs for power, for outputs, for sensors, and all that from the 3 liter truck. So we're having to rewire all these plugs and pinouts, but we're gonna keep all the ignition stuff, and we're not going to change any of that harness. We're just going to take the outputs and then put them into where they need to go. So right now we're in the process of dealing with these main plugs down by the computer that go into the interior. And as you can see, I've made all these Deotang things with all the different harness wiring diagrams printed off courtesy of Toyota, Country Hills Toyota, from the VIN numbers. So this one is for the 3.4 liter engine, full harness kit. This one here is for the, just call it 3VZ, old truck harness, get your engine harness and all the dash and everything. So there's those. Then we got our notes to the repinning of everything, and then this is the final repinning from the 5VZ to the 3VZ dash to computer, so on and so on. And then this harness here, this one is the other 3VZ swap we did, but it's, we're using it as a reference to quickly scan wires through where they go instead of having to try to figure out in here, where this isn't open. It's hard to follow that. Obviously we're using mics and stuff to get our pinouts and track the wires, but it's easier for that. So we have a little cheater harness here. It's already opened up. It's great. Works awesome. Then we got this other little cheater harness. Same deal. It's opened up. It's part of that. Yeah, it's fun stuff. There's still lots to do. I mean, we got the engine in, bolted up. There's still power steering pump to deal with. There's, I got the steering done. This has to be fabricated differently than what the stock is, because the stock one has this, I believe it's, a dampener right here, but it's so wide it gets in the way of the 3.4 liter alternator. So this has to be just a straight shaft from there. Exhaust is all done. What I do is I cross the exhaust over to, because normally on the 3.4 liter engine, it comes down on the passenger side, while on the 3VZ engine truck, it comes down on the driver's side. So trying to run, you know, there's 3 options. You can either run headers, one pipe down this side, one pipe down that side, and then connect them somewhere underneath, and then run it down the driver's side because the tank's on the left, which is, sorry, the passenger side. So you want to eventually, you have to run it over to the driver's side on this truck. So what I do is I just modify the crossover pipe and, you know, basically make the crossover pipe go over to the driver's side, which works pretty well. And then there's the oil sump that you have to use off of the 3VZ engine. You also have to use the 3VZ dipstick and the oil pan. And also drill out the hole. If you have a, you know, 98 pre, you'll have the port for the dipstick. It just, you need to drill the hole for the dipstick to go in. If you have a 98 and after, you'll have a spot for that plug, like port for the dipstick, but you won't have that, what do you call it? I'd call it like an insert where the dipstick, you know, seats in. Anyway, you can use on the, you know, 98 and prior engines, little port that they have, just drill a hole through it and it works great. Yeah, there's a bunch of other miscellaneous stuff that has to go on, but basically the wiring's, you know, the part that takes the longest. As you can see, it's looks like a disaster, but you know, one wire at a time, you figure out your pinouts and what wire does what, match it up to what that 3VZ wants, you know, to send a signal to, power, ground, whatever. Anyway, just thought I'd share that with you. If you follow along, you'll see more. Talk to you later.
I'm gonna tackle those heater core lines next.
Fire hazard. See that little wear right there? Yeah, not good. That thing was rubbing on the pulley.
Oh, rub on something.
Well, yeah, on some, but I think it's right, lines up with the pulley. Like, look at that line up right there to there. See that? See that line up? Pulley. Wear spot. Not good. Clips under. You send it? Go back to whatever the fuck you're doing. Up there? Why do I not believe you? No, doesn't look like it's there. Bullshit. What should I have put up with?
Here,
You already cracked the beer. Yeah. It's all of them?
I'm pretty sure. You should double check though.
I hate this live music shit. Maybe I should sit down and drink a beer.
I think I might need to lie down.
You work.
I just while you're in there.
Afternoon.
You can deal with that, or you can deal with that, and I'll watch. Cause hey.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
It's right here. There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So we have the 3.4 liter
Oil pan baffle.
Yeah, the baffle of the oil pan. Here's the 3 liter sump. So when this gets bolted up, so this, goes something like, how does it go now? Goes in something like this. And this area has to be cut out so this last bracket can be bolted in. So you gotta do a little bit of trimming. Yeah, use this sump, the 3.4 liter baffle, the 3 liter dipstick, and
3 liter pickup.
And the 3 liter pan,
3 liter pickup.
and the 3 liter. Yeah, I already said that. Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
Try a little harder and see if the pan's there next time.
Anyway, I can set this on to grind it.
You're such a fucking dick.
Spend more time wiping the oil off my hands than I do working. Go like that, and you scrape that old gasket off just like that. Just like that. And then you take your rag and you go like this, just like that. And you use a T100 two-wheel drive rear sump, oil pan, front sump. But it's still not a rear sump.
Much more better, gooder.
Get that in. Get the sump in.
Dipstick.
This motor hoist is right in my way.
No. You know, the worst part is that if you try and move it one way, the pin hits on your tool chest, and if you try and move it the other way, it hits on your bender.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, basically you got to cut that hole. See that? Something like that. Hope you guys are following along here.
Putting down what we're putting up.
Yeah, putting up with what we're putting down. So if anyone wants to know, for the dipstick,
Pull
this
the
is dipstick.
3.4 liter dipstick out.
Yeah,
This
this
is the front pickup here.
you take the 3.4 dipstick.
Just retake this. Seriously. Retake this. Because that's the 3.4 dipstick from
Yeah,
the
I know, I
front.
was just using it as a pointer.
No, you remove that and then we'll...
You remove the 3.4 dipstick and you install the 3 liter dipstick, but you have to drill that out. If you don't take this plug out, this plug stays on the engine block. That one there, see that? Right there. You got to drill it out from underneath. And then this goes into that cap head and seals in there. So that's part of the swap. You having fun yet there? This is a 3.4 sender, oil sender.
This is a 3 liter oil sender, and you
This
got to
is a
use
four-
this
Yeah.
because this is where your gauge cluster is.
So if you use the 3.4 on the 3 liter gauge, the 3.4 oil sending unit on the 3 liter gauge, it'll fry your gauge eventually because this is going to put out more voltage into that gauge and it'll eventually fry it.